Welcome to the Manuchehri podcast. Over the last 30 years, it has been my joy to assist humanity in aligning with their magnificence so they may heal, discover their natural gifts, and communicate with loved ones living on the other side. May you also experience delight while we dance in the powerful, intuitive world of energy. Let's get going. Welcome to the podcast, and today I get to do one of my favorite things is interview someone who I believe is on the leading thought of existence, which is really amazing when we get new thought leaders and people who love to swim around in consciousness and share their teachings with the rest of humanity, knowing that everyone else on the planet has hidden wisdoms and gems within them. And so spiritual teachers like our wonderful guest today, Suzanne Giesemann, knows that about everyone that she touches and cares about, and only wishes that others could raise their vibration and their frequency and have enormous, incredible experiences. So Suzanne Giesemann is a spiritual teacher, author, and messenger of hope who guides people to their certainty that love never dies and that we are part of a multidimensional reality. I mean, it's like there's universes everywhere. Suzanne Giesemann has been recognized on Watkins Mind, Body, Spirit magazine 2022, the list of the 100 most spiritually influential people living, which is a huge and wonderful honor to have. So Suzanne, welcome to the podcast.
Oh, Marie, I get to sit in your energy for a while. That's a gift to me in itself, but thank you so much.
I agree. I love it because we haven't met in person, but I feel like you're a dear friend, and I'm so grateful that we connect. I think it's really amazing. Yes.
Yeah, I can't believe that when you say that because I feel like we've known each other forever. So,
Well,
yeah.
that's true. I think sometimes when you connect with some people, it doesn't matter where they are in the world, that you feel them in your presence and in your energy. And it is a blessing. I'm so grateful you're on the planet. So thank you for being here. And so how many books have you written now?
Well, I've written 15. This one, the new one that I have that's just out is my 14th. The 15th one is finished and it'll be out in October. So it's a busy year.
You're amazing. You're an incredible machine of high vibration frequency and care and compassion for the human world. And you're happy too and joyful and enjoying your life, which is an important component to spinning here on time. So the newest one, the 14th, I believe you said,
Yeah.
The Awakened, okay, great. The Awakened Way, Making the Shift to a Divinely Guided Life is spectacular. I've had the pleasure of reading, and I got to endorse your book as well, which thank you so much for.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to read. It is one of my favorite books, by the way. It truly is. I love homework. I love ideas. You know, there are definitely there's one of the tools we'll talk about I use almost every day that you put in your book.
Oh, I can't wait to hear which one it is.
Yeah. And so this book is published by Hay House, right? So that's exciting too.
It is.
Wow. And what is your genius behind the approach of this new book?
Genius. The genius behind this book is spirit, always. And I know that's not what you meant, but truly, it was guided by higher consciousness, by inspiration from my team of guides. It was shown to me that there are so many beautiful self-help books out there, Marie, and I know you know this. They're all wonderful, but I'll just go right back to that beautiful quote by Einstein that no problem was solved at the level at which it originated. And what so many books and so many people fail to realize is our challenges are all right here at this level of being, the human story within our roles. And it's when we shift above the role, go outside the story to the soul's awareness, suddenly we get a whole new perspective, we get a bigger picture, we get insights and guidance, and we bring this back when we step back into the role, and everything changes. We can expect permanent change when we go beyond the story. That's the bottom line. That's why the subtitle is Making the Shift to a Divinely Guided Life. Without that shift, you may just go right back to same old, even if you have a temporary solution.
I couldn't agree more with everything you said. And I love how in some of the well, all of them, but how you did just step by step, just break it down for everyone, because you and I, we figured this out kind of on our own in many ways,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And
yes.
we're so grateful we did, and we have our own ways and we know how to connect. And we teach this all the time, to as many people as we possibly can, but to lay it out step by step, sentence by sentence. So there's really no way that a person could miss a certain opportunity of expansion, and they can go back and read it a million times if they want to, and keep practicing and practicing. That there really is like a guidance of energy that one needs to follow in order to connect to that higher self and God consciousness and this bigger part of who we are. I just love, love, love how you took such great, beautiful time to break it down so that people can utilize it authentically for them.
Well, I love that you recognize that. That's definitely part of my main mission is taking concepts that are really challenging, deep issues. Metaphysics is not easy, or we would all get it.
Right.
And so I always ask, how can I put this into terms that we do get it? How can I make this so easy to grasp? And so there are a lot of analogies. And then I do keep circling back around and around like a spiral to concepts that I begin with. So we lay a foundation, then we just keep coming it back till finally there's going to be this point for everybody when they're reading, when they say, oh, I get it. I've kind of gotten it up to this point in my life, but all of a sudden, click, and that's the
Clicking.
goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's what it's like for you every day as you're reaching, or reconnecting or maintaining that connection. There's a click.
Yeah.
There's a feeling that you have in your body that you know you're there. You can trust the information and have even more magic in your life. So thank you for doing that. I know everyone's going to value and appreciate your skill set and making that accessible for everyone. Was there a particular portion of the book that was difficult to write?
I wouldn't say difficult because I just would stop. There would be no flow. And so that's, you get these blocks. And then I've learned, though, after 14 books, to just stop and let it go for a while. And then all of a sudden, boom, I have to sit and write, and it just flows, which shows me that it is, in a way, channeled. It's definitely divinely guided, which is beautiful because it makes me walk the talk. It's all about making the shift to a divinely guided life. So I know that wasn't just me. That wasn't Suzanne Giesemann in her role, just sitting down and saying, I'm going to write this. This is, all right, show me the best way to put these concepts that we live into words. So if it wasn't flowing, I'd go just only a certain bit and then say, not supposed to write today. And then when you sit down and it flows, it's so clear why. So, yeah, there were parts that were difficult, but that's just part of the process.
Right. Oh, perfect. I love the idea, which, of course is important to just ditch what's happening if it's not working and wait. Wait till something shifts within your own being so that you can reconnect. I think that's
Yeah,
genius for all of us.
yeah.
And you might have an actual intent of audience, but do you?
I do. I do. Pretty much, I broke it down into three areas that just reveal. It didn't have it when I started writing this, but it revealed itself. They revealed themselves. First is those who are grieving, because certainly my work as a medium is not my entire work. My work is writing and teaching, but the mediumship helps me get evidence to back up the teaching that we're part of something so much greater. So I deal all the time, as you know, as a medium yourself, with people who are grieving. So this book, by showing us who we really are and that this life is not all there is, that will definitely help anybody who's grieving, anybody who is mourning the loss of someone who's passed, or grieving anything, a job, a lifestyle, a relationship. So somebody who's grieving, anybody who's despairing about anything. And oh, aren't there a lot of people in despair now? So I'd say it's for those who want off the planet. And I know most of us have those kinds of moments. I never signed up for this. I wouldn't sign up for this. And your guides are saying, yes, you did. Yeah. Well, For those times when you went off this planet, this is just a beautiful recalibration and a reminder at the soul level. People will just read it and say, oh, yeah, I guess I did sign up for this. And just give you that whole different perspective to hang in there and not just survive, but learn to see the challenges in a whole different way. And then the third group is those who have been seeking and seeking and seeking on the spiritual path for that big aha or that big moment when they kind of sort of get it, but they always think there's something more. This book could end the search. It really can just have you all of a sudden say, OMG, I think I'll keep reading spiritual books because I love them, but I don't have to anymore because I get it. So those three groups are beautiful. I have a friend who reached out to me. She's actually an intuitive and she knows these things, but she reached out and she had a family member who was thinking of taking their own life. This was about 6 months ago. And she said, maybe 3 months, she said, I need your advice. What do I tell this loved one? And I found it so unusual that she reached out to me because we all know these things, but when it's close and personal, we want backup. And I looked at her and I said, gosh, if only my book were available right now. Because I realized
Right.
that the tools and the teaching from Spirit in this book possibly will save lives. It's enough to take anybody who's suicidal and give them hope, give them meaning, give them their purpose back in life. It's that powerful. I hope from having read it, I'm not just
Oh,
exaggerating.
I am 100% back this book. It will be on my website as a referral piece of information. Absolutely. And I just loved your answer because I'm one of those people that even when my life is a disaster or has moments that are weird, which isn't often, I'm
Yeah.
mostly thinking of some historical things. I'm just still truly kind of a happy camper kind of person and very optimistic. And I don't often have those. I've never really thought about leaving the planet. I can't wait to come back, actually. But when you were speaking about the people who, are in that enormous grief and want to leave, it just really touched me so deeply because, of course, I talk to a lot of people as well who have, as you said, it could be grief about anything, but I tend to forget about that. So I'm so grateful that that was part of your intention, to help people get back to this place of knowing
Yeah.
and having a different spiritual awareness of their experience. And so that they have more choice and opportunity, which is really what happens when you plug in. You just have different solutions that are very opposite than the logical brain. And so that was very sweet what you just said. And
But
yeah,
you know
it's
what
just,
else just occurred to me as you were talking? Actually, I got to hear it from my guides that I didn't expect it. People reading it will receive an energetic transmission while reading it because these are not my words. It's not written like a channel book, but every book carries the energy of its author. And this was co authored with Spirit. And they're just showing me now, imbuing the words so that people will read it. I got goosebumps and pick it up and say, there's something about this. And if they realize that they're soaking up this higher energy and that in itself will provide a shift, that's just an extra gift.
well, honestly, Suzanne, all the books I'm attracted to are like that.
Yeah.
Your book is very much, there are timeless books on spirituality like yours. You could read them for decades. You could read them your whole life. Like you can just open them up to a certain page and they offer you the solution that you need in that moment. And so they're timeless. And that's because they are doused with energy and vibration and frequency that's meaningful for the human species and their evolutionary process. So yes, I would agree. And that it's something that you could just keep in your house forever, and it will
Well, I have
even,
to tell you, with
yeah,
great humility and awe, the publisher at Hay House said this book has the feel of a classic.
yes,
Oh,
yes,
mm,
I couldn't agree
yeah.
more. And those type of books, even after you read them, people want to keep them near. They keep them in bookshelves in their bedrooms or in their offices. They travel with them,
No,
just
yeah.
because the vibration feels so
Yeah.
good. It's just such a beautiful thing. So for those of you who are listening and you haven't met Suzanne before, which could be surprising. Suzanne is also a former U.S. Navy commander who was aide to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. So your transition from a large human existence on the planet affecting, millions of people as well from a different perception, perhaps, or maybe not conscious of your spiritual, you know, energy at that time. It also introduced you to grief, the powerful grief, not only in your own family, the loss of a beloved child with an adult, but a child within the family. And then you were present in your former position during 9/11, where we had so much loss. So you're truly an expert on grief, personally as an American and as a service worker, and someone who is to protect our country.
But you
And
know
also,
what's so unusual is I ran away from grief. On 9/11, I retired from the Navy after 9/11. I just saw too much and felt too much, and I said, I'm out of here. They issued us gas masks for our desk at the Pentagon after that, and I said, time to exit stage right. And I went off sailing, and then life caught up to us with the death of my stepdaughter, Susan, and you can't run away from that. And so now I deal with people who are just in desperate grief sometimes. But you see, at that time, I didn't know there was a greater reality. I had no tools. And that's why the first half of this book, The Awakened Way, is the foundational material to understand how we can say with utter certainty there is a greater reality and death is not the end. And then part two are the tools, nothing but tools. So,
yeah, it
yeah,
is really is tool after tool after tool after tool after tool. So my favorite tool that I use every day,
yeah,
I hope we can talk about it, of course, is where you place your tongue flat on the top of the roof of your mouth. Because, as a spiritualist, I'm in the woo-woo world a lot during the day. it, I love it. And then I have to be on Earth, on planet Earth, and do tasks, within this physical realm, which I also love. But sometimes it can be the flow isn't always there for me in the way that I want it to be. That's why I have lots of people to help me, with work and everything like that. But if I'm having a challenge with something, even something as simple as losing my car keys, I just literally put the tongue flat on the roof of my mouth and everything just falls into perfection. Everything does. And I know in the book, if you don't mind sharing, you were actually doing a maneuver with your boat.
yeah, yeah.
So if you don't mind sharing that story, that'd be lovely.
Right. I call that exercise, that tool, silence on the bridge. Because what happens when you put your tongue just flatten against the roof of your mouth, just raise it straight up, like you have peanut butter stuck on the roof of your mouth, is a really great way to do that. What it does is it instantly silences the negative self talk. And when that's gone, there's no fear and you're open to insights, all, all kinds of painful thoughts that run around in our head all the time just stop. And that technique was shown to me when I was maneuvering our new boat for one of the first times. And I was shaking. Not that I didn't think I could do it. It was just these negative talks. What if I hit the pier? What if the wind comes up? What if I don't do this right? All that human stuff. And they said, put your tongue on the roof of your mouth. And I did it. And it was stunning. All the what ifs just vanished. And all of a sudden, I could just intuitively knew what to do with that boat. And a couple times my tongue just naturally came back down. I felt a little bit of fear, put the tongue back up. Marie, it was stunning. I brought the boat through a narrow lock, spun it around, pulled it into the slip, which I'd done only 2 times before that, and both times before I was all noodly afterwards. This time, if you don't mind, I finished. I shut down the engines. I looked at my husband and I said, that was so freaking fun. Because when we get rid of the fear and you let spirit, your higher self guide you, life is fun. Life is enjoyable. Life flows. So I tell a funny anecdote about why it's called silence on the bridge, which is a Navy expression. but it works for everything. If you're passing a big truck on the highway and you're nervous, put your tongue up on the roof of your mouth and notice what happens.
It's
Glides through.
amazing.
I do push-ups as part of my daily exercise routine. And I usually go, oh, I hate this. They're so painful. Well, I even do it then and get a little smile on my face. And there's no voice saying, this hurts. Why am I doing this? It's just gone.
Yeah, it's
God.
amazing. I mean, I hate to be late for anything, and I do lose my car keys, even though I have two sets, obviously. And my house is kind of big, so they could be anywhere. And so I'm like, stressed, what's wrong with me? Why can't I find my keys? I'm going to be late. I don't want to
Oh.
disrupt that person I'm meeting or whatever. And then I just stick my tongue in the roof of my mouth. And then I have so much fun because I find them and I'm all excited and I'm grateful. I jump in the car and I have a lovely ride to where I need to be. And yeah, it's lovely.
And you likely find them because now that you're not all negative self-talk, spirit can put the location
Yes.
in your mind and just guide you.
Exactly. You connect to all of yourself, not just that human part that moves into its anxiety and low frequency that isn't our best guide in the world, you know?
Well,
Yeah,
and if I could just add
yeah.
what I learned from my guides when I said, why does that work? It was fascinating. And you, as an energy worker, will definitely understand this. I was shown that we have the central meridian, this energy
Mm.
pathway that goes up, runs up the front of the body and ends right here. If I'm wrong, let me know. And then it's because I haven't studied these like you have, but they showed me. Then we have this governing meridian that runs up the back over the top of the head and ends right here. So far, so good, right?
Yeah.
But when you put your tongue on the roof of your mouth, you're basically connecting these two spots. If you ever look at a diagram, a schematic of how a circuit works, a light switch, the light goes on when you take two power sources and close the switch. So that's what's happening with the tongue on the roof of your mouth. You're connecting these two power sources and creating wholeness. So if you now have this one whole energetic circuit of the energy flowing, there's no longer this apparently separate part of you that's saying, you can't do this, what if, all the negative talk.
I love it. It also connects to the hen you. That's what when I tune people to Reiki, I have them put their tongue on the roof of their mouth.
Oh.
And so it connects to the Hindu, which is part of the Kundalini and this very powerful source energy that actually activates the glands in your brain to activate more psychic ability. So it's a but the way I do it was just the tip. I love the flat tongue. I think it's very powerful. Okay, so after finishing this book, how can readers go deeper with their study and or practice of the awakened way of living?
Oh, well, that's the beauty of the book. It has one section with reminders of how to live the awakened way. So it's just so beautifully directed by spirit how they give you the foundation, then they give you the tools, and they show you how to set reminders for yourself to do the practices. And some of them are so easy, like that one, the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Others might take a little bit longer, but with these reminders, you see them in your objective world all the time and you say, oh yeah, have I done this practice? Am I putting my tongue on the roof of the mouth? Am I doing the sip of the divine? Have I practiced that one? Like, just for example, right here on my laptop in front of me is this little statue of a cherub. Why is that there? That's to remind me, have I talked to my guides lately? Am I relying on them, or have I forgotten who I really am I still just staying in human only mode, or do I remember we are never alone? And that's one of the teaching in part one about how to understand you are never alone. So this book is very spiral like. It's not exactly linear. You don't have to read it from the beginning all the way through. You can pick and choose, go back, repeat what you need. That's more of how our soul grows in a spiral. The human likes to things to unfold linearly, but you get tools in here that will just keep you going onward and upward for eternity.
I love your description, that because that's really following your intuition to what part of the book to read again or which part brought you the most joy because that's your guides saying, oh yeah, that one, practice that one again. That's going to be excellent for you. I love your description, giving your readers permission and encouraging them to use their insight as they follow this beautiful guide of mastery into their own unique vibration of wisdom and health and rejuvenation and healing, incredible healing. So, do you foresee any future editions of this book? Is that the next one you already wrote, or?
No, no, no. The next one is actually a whole volume on only mediumship for a
Mm,
series of books called the Common Sentience series, where each book dives into one different topic. There's so many rabbit holes we can go down when we're on this whole path that we're on. And so this is all about mediumship, what it is, how to practice it, with beautiful inspirational stories from contributors. So that's different.
amazing.
I have a few ideas that are percolating for a follow-on book, but right now I'm just taking a break from writing, as you can imagine.
Yes, I know you work very hard in the world, and we all appreciate your devotion and your love and your energy, and the way you cherish the human race and how you want us all to be happy and well and fulfilled. And so we love that about you, Suzanne, your devotion
Yeah. Uh,
to
uh,
to
you
that.
know, the, I just love when I come together with you because people love that you and I have that same enthusiasm and the high energy and the positive outlook. So it's no wonder there's an affinity here. I
Yeah,
love what you're
I
doing.
know,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, we both have that. We're both happy and we love what we do in the world and we love the world. So it's nice to be with someone who has that same sort of vibration, who also works in the world in a similar way. It's very fun. It's really, really fun. Is there anything else you want to add? You
I
know,
do. I see spirit at work all the time, and this book will help people to recognize how we are always being guided, and the the awakened way has three principles that you're not only human. The third one is the healing and creative force of the universe is love, which is just total connection. But the second one is you're part of one big web connecting all that is, and the web will jump out at you so much more clearly once you read this book. You'll start to see the connections and connect the dots. And the funniest connection has been staring us in the face during this whole interview. And you haven't quite caught on to it, Marie. But I haven't worn this sweater in a long time, and it was so clear, wear this sweater, and I didn't know why. But look at your sweater. We're both wearing two-toned,
oh yeah.
very delineated sweaters. Mine is just this sharp delineation between these two colors, and yours has this really cool, sharp delineation of two colors as well. And to me, that's just a God wink right there, that we both were tuned in to you may not have had any idea why you were wearing that. But that to me is a symbol of how there are two sides to us in our human roles always, right now. There's the human role and there's the higher self, call it the soul, the expanded self. So we're always displaying both sides to the world, but we get to choose, what
Yes.
perspective are we going to take. And so here we are in our two-tone selves, showing up with great coincidence today. But that is the whole point, to recognize there are two sides, and we get to choose from moment to moment which side are we going to show the world. And the more you embody the higher aspects of yourself, when we're in only human mode and displaying, not that the human is a bad thing, but displaying the less spacious aspects of our human side, the more constricted side, the side before the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, and we're being uh, perhaps less than loving to ourselves and others. It stands out, doesn't it? It's
It
like,
does.
ooh, that wasn't me.
You can recognize it and then use one of the beautiful tools that you've written in your book so that you can reconnect and enjoy both of them, and enjoy your humanness and your ability to get out of the way of that and line up to your incredible superness and have a wonderful experience in life and allow that part of yourself to be seen in the world. I mean, I think that's such a beautiful thing when people can you know love their human aspect but also rejoice in another part of themselves and let that be part of their path in this lifetime. It's just way more fun.
Amen. Yeah.
Yes. Well, you are a treasure. We are so lucky to have you on the planet, Suzanne. Thank you for your delicious desire to teach and share your knowledge and help people get over the grief. One of your greatest joys in the world is to hold that space with someone and help them to navigate through it. Thank you so much for doing that. And thank you for coming on the podcast today. And I
Oh,
want everyone to rush out and get your newest book, The Awakened Way, Making the Shift to the Divine Guided Life. Yeah.
thank you so much, Marie.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast where energy and the divine meet. This is the second half of a podcast that I started to create last month where I interviewed Suzanne Giesemann. You saw that or heard that part. And now I'm going to go into answering some questions. So I recorded the first half with Suzanne in April. Today is May 1st, 2024, and I'm now going to record the answers. Thank you for calling in and leaving me voicemails. I really love it. It makes me very happy. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the content and know that if you didn't call in and leave a voicemail, which you can do through energyintuitive.com, that there will be answers that I give to the people who have called in that will reflect for your life as well. Okay, let's get started.
Hi, Marie. Thank you for your beautiful show. My name is Melissa. I'm calling from Newcastle in Australia. My question is I've been into spirituality for a long time, and in my 30s, I got into a lot of non dual spirituality and had a lot of lovely experiences of emptiness. And for 10, 15 years, sort of sat in a space where I thought, well, the universe will bring me what it's meant to bring me. And now I've just turned 50, and I find I'm at a space where I've been alone for a long time. I haven't had relationships. I didn't have any children, and I've just left a job where I was making money but not very happy. And I'm just wondering if that's what my soul intended, if that's experience intended to have all along, or if somehow I've missed my soul path. And if so, does it forgive me? And will it give me a second chance, so to speak? Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Melissa. You can never make a mistake. You can't go in the wrong direction. I mean, there are more favorable directions to go into, but the universe has made it so that no matter what we do, no matter where we are, we're still going to learn and grow and have fun if we allow ourselves to. I think what some people don't understand is that when you're in the physical realm, you actually have to take physical action to manifest and create what you want. So if you want to have a career in the spiritual realm, you have to go obtain it. You have to go take classes. You have to go read for other people. You have to get busy in that arena. It's not, where you just close your eyes and hum and everything appears. I'm not saying it can't be that way, but most people are not great at manifesting. They don't raise their vibration high enough. And because we're in a physical realm, there is a likelihood that you're going to have to do physical activities to manifest and create what you want. So it's not too late, but you're going to have to go out there, take some classes. If you've taken enough classes or read enough books, start doing whatever it is that brings you joy in the spiritual realm. The earth realm is a place of doing. Of course, we're learning as humans to relax our minds and be quiet, which you have gotten a PhD program on. So you know how to do that. You have to take action, literally have to move your energy to manifest in the physical world. So no mistakes, get going. Go go try some fun things. When I first began to realize that I was seeing energy and hearing it and feeling it, I laid hands on as many people as I could, mostly patients in the hospital. But even when I would go on, um, I would chaperone some of my daughter's events when they were in school. And if a kid had a headache or they hurt themselves, I would ask if I could lay hands on them. You, there are a lot of opportunities on the earth realm, but you actually have to go out and be adventurous. I think part of this is about you learning to receive and that you're valuable and worthy and deserving. That self love is a highly underestimated power. It's beyond powerful. And when we love ourselves significantly, we automatically raise our vibration and get closer to our higher self and our individualization, the way creation experiences us. So it's critically important to have beautiful, loving emotions for yourself while you get out there in the world and start developing your craft or crafts, whatever they may be. Okay, thank you.
Hi Marie, my name is Rosemary. I'm from Chile, South America. Thank you so much for the podcast. I would like to help my dear friend Monica Pobletti. She doesn't speak English and I can translate the answer. She's very concerned about her adult son Matthias Applegreen, who just became a father. Is he going to improve his economic situation? Better job, more money? Or my friend has to keep helping him with money? I wish your podcasts and YouTube were translated to Spanish speaking language. Thanks again. Your spiritual gift and work is so much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosemary. And I just don't know. I think when artificial intelligence becomes more available for the public, then we can, like Alex Ferrari has done, we can translate things into other languages with ease so that the process is extremely clear and accurate. So that will happen eventually. And when I was on Alex's show a few times ago, he had me listen to my my voice in Chinese. And I just burst out crying. I didn't mean to. I was kind of shocked. It was just, I love other cultures. I love other languages. And just to know that one's words could be accurately translated into another language that could potentially be helpful for others is delicious. So thank you for translating what I say here. First of all, congratulations to your friend, her son having a child and her being a grandmother. But she has to stop over nurturing her children, especially her son. He has been over nurtured, over cared for. He doesn't think he has to work that hard. I'm not saying he's not a hard worker. I'm sure he works hard, but he just knows that mom's always going to be there to give him whatever he wants. So I think she needs to stop, give him a little bit of warning, stop giving him money so that he can make different choices to create more wealth. He needs to start taking care of her at some point. And so he needs to get in the habit of not letting her be his ATM machine. And that's going to be hard for her, but I highly, highly recommend it. She has over nurtured her child. And thank you for giving her my advice. Thank you so much.
Hi, Marie. This is Ashanda from Germany. I'm an American. My question is, I lost my mom almost 5 years ago, and I want to know if she has any messages for me and what she thinks about me and my sister, our relationship, her not talking. It just seems that after she passed that our relationship went more downhill, and I would just like to know if she has any messages for me and what she thinks on that. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.
Hello, Ashandra. Ashanda, I think I'm saying it correctly. I'm sorry that happened, to have your mom cross and then have your sister pull back even more in the relationship. Some people have relationships with others to please another. So sometimes siblings hang out and are friends with each other just to please their parents. Um, but I don't look at your sister as your real sister. I see her as a soul, but I don't believe that she's true family for you. True family members, when we're with them or even not with them, we feel loved, adored, and cherished, and that is not something you experience in this relationship. So she's really not real family. I think it's actually better for you not to have her in your life, even though you're not the one pushing her away. If she doesn't want to really be there, if she can't really be supportive, if she isn't kind. Your mom said that when she was leaving her body, she got so much awareness. Like she said, it's like finding the book of life and opening up and finding out all these answers. And she said it was quite remarkable and incredible. She loved the experience. She loves both of you very much, dearly. She dearly cherishes you. And she could just see how you two are just not well matched. Your different soul ages. It doesn't mean it couldn't possibly change in the future, but I think you're better off creating family with other people. Um, So your mom's not bothered by it because she has a higher vibrational awareness of the situation that's really authentic. So she's not upset about it. She's not disappointed with either of you. She thinks your sister's a little immature, that she can't have an adult conversation with you and just kind of ghosted you. But those are her thoughts on it. She loves you very much, by the way. And she thanks you for being a kind family participant who is devoted and who loves her family. She thanks you very much. I hope that's helpful.
Hi, Marie. This is Emily from Utah, and I want to say thank you for your kindness and all that you're doing. I had a question about my son and his wife and children. They have been estranged from our family for 2 years now. She has a problem with me, and I have tried in my heart to love and forgive her and understand what I need to do to have her forgive me. I'm wondering if there's something more that I can be doing to help our relationship be renewed again. Also, are there any messages for me from the other side of the veil? Thank you again for all that you do.
Thank you, Emily. And I'm so sorry this is happening to you. I honestly say this is your son's fault and responsibility. Not everybody gets along all the time. And your daughter in law is a younger soul. She's very sensitive. She's easily offended, not just by you, but lots of people. It's not personal, in my opinion. And I think you were just shocked originally by her behavior, and you probably set some boundaries and then she pulled back even more. But this is really your son's fault and responsibility because these are, this is part of your family. These are your grandchildren. And he should be setting boundaries, something like saying to his wife, well, like, honey, I'm sorry you're not getting along with my mom, but I want to go out with her and I want her to hang out with our kids. So he's letting her run the show and he's not standing up for himself or you. And you kind of have to. Not everybody's going to get along. Not everybody's going to understand each other. But like, even though I'm not married to my children's father, I want my children to have a healthy relationship with their dad. And they all work at it because he's a little unique. He's not the easiest. But my kids work on it. And I consistently support them in their desire to have a loving relationship with their dad. So this is your son's fault. I think you need to have a chat with him, tell him what you really want, and that he needs to set some boundaries with his wife if you feel comfortable doing that, and that his children deserve to know their grandparents because they do. Anything can happen to any of us at any moment. Anything. Anyone can die or get sick or become, I'm saying the wrong word, but incapacitated in some way. And we need to be able to have family or friends around us to help in the event that something like that occurs. Not to mention the fact that I think grandchildren are very fortunate when they have a lot of people in their life to love them. When my daughters were in high school and in college, they all three rotated working through an eye clinic, all three of them, the same eye clinic. And there were women optometrists there and ophthalmologist. And my children became very tight with them and created great bonds. And I was just so happy they had these lovely women who also were able to help my daughters if they ever needed help, because not everybody wants to ask their mom all the time. So it takes a village to raise a family, and you're a beautiful part of the village. And let's hope that your son will be open to this type of conversation. And if he makes any concessions like, well, mom, you can't do this, and if it's something that you can agree with so you can spend time with your family more, then I would do it. Okay. I'm wishing you the best of luck.
Hi, Marie. This is Julie from Wisconsin. 2 years ago, I had a stage 1 breast cancer, not in the lymphs, clear margins. I decided not to do chemo, but had the prescribed radiation. In April, I started bioidentical hormone therapy. In the first round, I had testosterone with anastrozole, terrible stuff. Second round, I had testosterone and a small amount of estrogen. The third round, I had testosterone and an increased amount of estrogen. I'm about to do a fourth round mid to end of January. The estrogen goes against conventional practices. Do you have any thoughts on this and how my body's processing it? I feel so much better with the estrogen. Thank you. And who built the pyramids in Egypt? Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Bye.
Thank you, Julie. And I talked a little bit about that with Alex Ferrari. He's making a new app, a brand new app, and he interviewed me for it. And we talked about the pyramids. Got a little confusing in the conversation, but the pyramids around the world, but of course in Egypt, which were formed first, I believe, were created with alien help for the coming of Christ and other spiritual leaders to hold a vibration here on the planet for their existence. I know. So, well, you've had a biopsy, you had procedures, and so they were able to tell you if the the growth was positive for estrogen or other hormones. And if it was, then I do not recommend that you take estrogen. You're doing the right. So if it wasn't, then you'll have to, of course, ask your physicians, but I think that if it wasn't positive for a hormone, then that, then you could take it. Obviously, you're taking it anyway. And you want to take bioidenticals, which is exactly what you're doing. I don't understand the first round. They must have titrated you on some hormones, for some male hormones, which of course are also in females, and then started you on the estrogen. There probably was a good reason for that. My physician just put me, or my ND just put me on estrogen and progesterone straight. So if it didn't show up in your and the biopsy in the so sorry, my brain is being quiet right now, in the cellular identification of all the variants to the tumor, then yeah. And of course we feel better with estrogen. It gives you energy. It helps us sleep better at night when we can be more energetic during the day, and many, many other things. It's good for our bones. It's good for our hair. It's good for a lot of things for the physical form, but only compounded hormones, which I'm just saying this for the rest of the audience, not modern medicine's hormones. They're not healthy. They're not good for us. Okay, thank you. And congratulations on your healing. I'm very happy for you.
Hey Marie, this is Nicole calling from Stuttgart, Germany. I lost my father a little over 2 months ago. It was sudden and quite devastating considering he was/is the greatest love of my life thus far. And he was quite young, being only 59 years old. In more ways than one, I feel like we were completely gypped of time together. He was a long distance truck driver, so we only saw him on the weekends as children, and then my parents divorced when we were teenagers. We did thankfully live together in 2022, but it always felt like we had more time together. We had more time to spend together in the future than we had in the past. And that's what we look forward to was when we moved back we were here in Germany temporarily, but when we would move back, we would move in together again. And we were all so very much looking forward to that. And I find it really difficult to accept that my father won't be in my life for 40 to 60 years. And so I am really hoping to increase and develop my connection with him in the non-physical way, because I really do need him in my life. I've been getting lots of signs from him, which has been really comforting, but I would like to up the ante on my intuition, psychic abilities, and maybe even mediumship one day. I know in the past that I have shut my intuition up with what makes sense or what is safe, but now I'm just so completely over that. I feel like I got a kind of like a premonition of his death, and
Wow.
I wish I had taken it more seriously. It's really shaken me, and yeah, I'm just curious to know if you see or feel if I have any innate abilities that I can work on or work towards. Thank you so much, Marie.
You're very welcome, Nicole. And I'm so sorry that happened. I don't know what your dad passed from, but he tells me that he did not take good care of his body. He also wasn't really good at just emotional connection. He was a little frozen inside when it came to vulnerability and really sharing at a deep level. He wants me to tell you that he's very happy on the other side. He's having a wonderful time. He says it's like being at the greatest Christmas party ever. But it's relaxing and there aren't any reindeer running around, but there's delicious comfort and kindness and people are happy and they're singing songs, and he loves the other side. He feels like he really opened up and let more beings in to his reality, since he's been on the other side. Of course, he knows how hard this is for you, and he is very sorry for that. He gains peace from the fact that he thinks he was a really good dad, and that brings him peace. Like, well, I did my job. I'm really good at it. Okay, yay. He doesn't say, he does say that, of course, there was room for improvement, but he felt overall he did a really good job. He was very happy with um, the way he treated other people. So, yes, you have the skill set. It's actually normal for everyone to communicate with their departed loved ones, but I think you can communicate even with people that you're not related to. I think it's really fun for you. And I do think your dad is kind of the instigator to help this happen now. So he left at the perfect time for him, even though he wasn't humanly conscious of the potential for leaving his body. He did. He left for the perfect time for him. Souls have certain agendas when they incarnate to the physical realm. And once those agendas are met, they can leave their body. I mean, they can leave even if they're not met, by the way. A soul can just go, ugh, I've tried so long, I'm out of here. Where's an exit? And of course, all of that is unconscious. But your father met some of his agenda that he wanted to accomplish in his most recent lifetime. And so when that happened, he was able to walk out of his body pretty quickly. He uh, he says, of course, I will always be your father as long as you're on earth. He goes, once you cross over, he says, we might have a different type of relationship. It may not feel like a father-daughter bond. He goes, we may feel just like souls, that are mm, intertwined in some deeper form of consciousness. He's very excited for, when you pass many years from now, but he's very excited because he feels like he can meet you in a new frequency, a new vibration. So he says, it, you know, and of course, I'm not arguing with what he says, that you're going to have to get happy in order to allow these gifts and abilities to expand. He says, of course, you can grieve me all you want, but then you'll need to take breaks, which you are doing. You are moving through the process, and find authentic things to bring you joy. So, so that's what he says, is that you'll have to find authentic things that bring you joy. Authentic things that bring you joy, so that you can begin to have this mediumship ability with him and with others. That's what he's recommending, is that you have this with him and with others. So that's what he's saying. And of course, he's sorry for your sorrow, but he does want you to know more than anything else that he's communicated is how much fun he's having on the other side. He's having a really, 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 really good time. I know that doesn't always make people happy, but I think it's nice to know what's really happening to someone when they leave their body, their true experiences. It's very unique on the other side. It is a playful place. It's very creative. Nobody has to work. Nobody needs money. Nobody needs food. No one needs housing. No one needs to procreate. It's an extremely different reality. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for calling.
Hi, Marie. It's Dee. I'm calling for a couple of reasons. First off is I have studied various modalities, healing modalities Oh, backtrack. When I heard you talking about people's organs talking to you, I thought, I want to do that. So I have studied various healing modalities, including Reiki, nutrition, hypnosis, holographic memory resolution, all of these different kind of things. Coaching, I certified as a coach, and I have never been able to create a thriving practice. And I don't know why that is. I do feel like I have an internal belief that I can't do it for some reason, or that it's not going to come together. But I have one client right now, and I'm working in a job that I kind of want to. I'm working in an abortion clinic as a counselor, and
Cool.
I'm really glad to have made a
Yeah.
contribution there. But I really want out. I've been doing it for 10 years. I want to do something that's more joyful. I want to work for myself, and I want to make more money. I just want to have more fun and make more money. Those are my priorities in life right now. So I would love any kind of insight that you have about that. Um, Me starting my own practice, why I haven't been able to build a thriving practice, what I could do to potentially build a thriving practice. I also have a podcast idea that I want to do to work. I'm talking to men,
Yeah.
not chastising them, talking
Yes.
to them, allowing them to speak what they want and how they
Yes.
feel in the world. I'm kind of
Yes.
excited about that, but I'm a major procrastinator. Um, so, yeah, I would love your input on any of that if you could kindly let me know what you think. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dee, and thank you for the work you are doing. You actually have to practice. People who want to work in the energy medicine field or the mediumship field or anything that's multisensory, you have to practice. You have to practice. It's critical in order to get your skill set up. And then you have to fall in love with yourself so that you will allow yourself to have what you deserve, including more wealth. You have to believe that you're worthy and deserving. That means you have to do inner work to create veins of existence of energy that feed you, that make you feel confident that you are amazing and deserving and worthy. And wealth, as I've said many, many times on this podcast, it's about creating a relationship with wealth based on something that makes you very, very happy that's unrelated. So let's say, for example, if someone liked crystals, this is apophyllite, one of my favorite crystals, by the way. It vibrates on the seventh vortex and extends way out into the heavens. And it's a really incredible stone. I just realized it needs some sunshine to clean it. But if someone really, really loves crystals, like it brings them high frequency vibrational energy, then their job would be to think of crystals and feel that high frequency energy before they interact with wealth. So that means before you touch your wallet, before you transfer funds, before you put your password into your online banking, before you open financial mail. Like, it's critical to change your relationship to the vibration of wealth by thinking of something every single time for the rest of your life you engage with wealth. And I'm using the word wealth because a lot of people don't like the word money. So do I think you're capable of having a multisensory career? Absolutely. But you have to start practicing. That means even maybe doing it for free and for a while, not a long time, but for a while. And also work on your self-worth, work on your self-worth and your self-love. That's what makes people successful. That's what blows people's success out of the water, is self-love and self-worth. The more I love myself, and this is true, I'm saying this from Marie, the more I love myself, the more successful I become. The more people I can reach, the more people I can share information with. The more I love myself, the more my energy expands. I hope that's helpful. And thank you, everyone, for listening to this second half of the podcast. I hope you enjoyed the interview I had with Suzanne Giesemann, and I hope you find her book joyful and fun and helpful as I did. Okay, bye-bye.